All right, so CNN politics. And I've been keeping up with this ever since the Biden administration said that they were going to give $450K to immigrant families. But unfortunately, at some point, Biden said that was not going to happen, which is what I said last week, because that's exactly what Biden said, is that it wasn't going to happen. And there's been some more updates, so I figured I'd update you guys tonight about it. So this article basically goes back into what I've been saying, which is Biden saying that we're going to give something, or not Biden, but the US government and civil rights activists and civil rights leaders and lawyers, civil rights lawyers are fighting in order to be able to get something back to the families who were separated during the Trump administration, in order to try to give them some sort of reconciliation, some sort of basically just to give them something for all the trauma that they experienced. And Biden at some point said he's not going to do $450,000. So and I understand it's really bad hardship that they experience. It's sad that there's still families that are still separated, unfortunately, and they're still trying to find the parents for certain children who are still separated. Which unfortunately it's been 3 years, right? So they haven't been able to find certain families in 3 years, because the Trump administration started looking for these families once they stopped separating them. But the Biden administration put a task force together to try to locate them, and unfortunately there's still people that they haven't found yet. So what now Biden is saying is, if it saves the taxpayer dollars and puts the disastrous history of the previous administration's use of zero tolerance and family separation behind us, the president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government. And that's from the Department of DOJ, who basically is just saying what Biden has told them, or at least is telling CNN what Biden has told them. So Biden does not agree to the $450,000, but he does agree to some sort of compensation for the issues, the possible trauma that this has caused them, the possible anguish. So some sort of reparations may happen. Now, what those reparations are, we don't know yet. At least they're still working on it. Now, all I'm going to say is, at the end of the day, I already said, I understand that there's still certain kids that are still separated, and we should and we need to find their parents. I won't agree to $450,000. So I'm there with Biden at the same time. And I understand that there's still litigation behind all this. And it's probably going to be a long time before anything is determined on how they're going to end up basically repaying back these families. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Give them a path to citizenship. That's what they were coming here for to begin with anyways. So give them a path to citizenship. Right now, you know, the whole just working or getting a visa to be able to work here for 5 years, I get it. But these families were coming here in order to try to get a better life, not just for themselves, but for their children as well. So I would suggest give them a path to citizenship and see how it goes from there. So yeah, this article just kind of goes on to tell you, and they use very exploitive language, right? So to kind of get your feelings heightened. If you watch this video, and I'm not going to play it due to maybe copyright issues. If you watch this video, it talks about a woman who was separated from her children, and how the only way that, because she was deported, but her children were stayed back, and the only communication that she has with her children now is through phone. But if that's the case, then why not just have her be able to come back to the United States? I mean, I believe that would be a good way to allow her to be able to get reunited with her family. You know, if her children are here, and she risked her whole entire life to be able to come here, and she was separated because she was deported, then have her come back. So again, it goes back to policy. you want to give reparations and everything, but you're not willing to fix the policy. If the US government law does not allow for this woman to be able to come back because she was deported, but her children are still here, and I understand you may deport her children back to her, which I believe she was in Honduras. So if you're going to send her children back to them in order to reunite them, which this doesn't go in full detail on that, why not just have her come back? So it goes back to immigration law and immigration policy, and that's what needs to change. That's what needs to change. I understand that you're saying to try to cover up the atrocities that the Trump administration did. Well, I wouldn't say the atrocities of the Trump administration and what they did, because the Trump administration followed law and policy, and yet the Democrats have been in office, which are the ones that are, pursuers of equality for all. They've been in the majority. They've been majority since 2018 in Congress, and now you've been in office for almost a whole entire year. So you've had Congress, you've had the Senate, and you've had the House for almost a whole entire year. What have you done for immigration policy? How have immigration policies gotten better? How have immigration policies, or how are immigration policies going to improve in the future so things like this don't happen? And nobody's talking about that. Kamala Harris, what is she doing? She was tasked with immigration policy, but nobody's talking about it. Everybody just keeps circling about Trump, and what Trump did, and how can we fix how Trump ended up, separating all these families and separating all these children and keeping children in cages, which, by the way, if you know, that's been happening way before Trump. And that was happening during the Obama administration. A lot of the pictures that they showed during the Trump administration, that was all during the Obama administration. So if we're going to start trying to do some sort of reparations for these families, I say give them a path to citizenship, the ones that you have been able to reunite. Don't deport the children, don't deport the families, and the ones that did get deported, have them come back and give them citizenship. Majority of them were here to work anyways. That way they can work legally and contribute to our economy, pay taxes. Since, you tax the poor anyways, and you tax the middle class anyway, trickle down economics, if you know what I mean. The rich always get rich because tax law hasn't changed, and the rich always have a lot more write-offs than the middle class does. But again, that's for another story, and that's for another day. If you want to work on this and give them some sort of reparations, then immigration law needs to change, and it needs to be updated, and there needs to be some sort of way for immigrants to be able to come here legally to work. And that's what needs to change, because even though you say there is, our immigration laws never change. And again, Democrats have been in office since 2018, holding all chambers since 2021, and nothing is said, because the media just skewers over it and just wants to blame everything on Trump instead of facing the reality that immigration law needs to change. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Also, leave your comments below. If you want to chat about any of these topics or any others, consider joining my live stream during my 1-hour pre-gaming news recap. I'm Eric the Inadequate, and until next time.